Hello Kipsters and welcome back to video number 6, Solving Percent Word Problems. Let's check it out. Seraphine spent 75% of his V-Bucks on the new dance moves for Fortnite. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what that really means. I just know you guys talk about it a lot. So I looked it up on Google, tried to figure out some new dance moves for my class. I'll let you guys have a little bit of fun for a minute.
Laying on the map, it's time to go. All my people in the squad trying to find the foe. We was getting in the...
Yeah, it's always good to have curiosity and look things up, but I still don't really know anything about Fortnite from that video. Well, anyway, Seraphine spent 75% of his V-Bucks on these new dance moves. If he spent $72, how much money did Seraphine have? Lots of information here. Now, whenever we have a percent word problem, there's always going to be 3 parts to everything with percents. Number 1, there's a percent. Number 2, there's a part. And the other thing is a whole. So those are the 3 parts, a percent, a whole, and a part. Now, when I look at this problem, I see 75% and I see 72. The tricky part about percents is really understanding, is that 72 going to go in the part or is it going to go in the whole? So when I read this again, I definitely know that 75% is my percent. So I'm going to make my part whole percent chart so I can organize my information. And I'm going to write percent in the middle and then part and whole. Now the percent is easy because it literally says it and it has that percent sign after it. So this is going to be 75%. So that means that Seraphine spent a good chunk of his money on those dance moves. Now, it says that he spent $72 on the dance moves. Now, is $72 all of his money or part of his money? Well, let's see. It says he spent this on the V-Bucks. I see the word spent here, and I see the word spent here. This $72 is representing 75%. So it's not representing the whole, it's representing part of all the money that he has. So I know that 72 is going to go over here in our part. That means that we don't have the whole. The whole is going to be our mystery or what we're trying to solve. When I read the question one more time to make sure I got it, Seraphine spent 75% of his V-Bucks, so we put that here, on the dance moves. If he spent $72 on the dance moves, how much money did Seraphine have? This is asking for a total or a whole because we're saying how much all money did he have in all. So this is like asking for a whole. That means that we need to, that means, yikes, sorry guys, that means that we need to find our whole. I know you have better handwriting than me, OMG. Now, let's check this out. I'm going to set this up correctly. We know that every problem that we set up is either going to have a percent, which is equal to my part over my whole. We are literally just making equivalent fractions, and what you're going to talk about in 7th grade, we're making equivalent proportions, because 75 of 100 is representing the same thing as 72 out of something else. Now, I can write 75 out of 100 as my percent, because 75 out of 100 is a percent. But that's not that easy to work with because 75 with 72, ugh. So we're really smart and we practice this a ton. There's a much easier equivalent fraction to 75 out of 100. So we don't want to use this. We want to use 3/4. That is the same as representing 75 out of 100 because I know that 3/4 is worth 75 cents. So 75 hundredths is the same thing as 3/4. So those are both equivalent ideas. Now, this is just the percent side of our equation. Now we need to do our part over our whole. We already said we don't have the whole. So the whole is going to be our mystery. Our part is going to be 72. So we're going to put that on top. So we know that 72 out of something is the same thing as 3 out of 4. Now, I'm going to figure out how do I go from 3 to 72. I know I can times by something. Some of you are pretty good and might be able to do that in your head. Some of us that can't, we can use the inverse operation, which is division. So I can do 72 divided by 3, because 72 is representing 3 of my groups. When I do that, 7 divided by 3 is 2. 7 divided by 3 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. I subtract, I get 1, and I bring down that 2. I now have how many 3s are in 12, and that's going to be 4. What this means is that each one of those 4s is representing $24. So I know that I can do 3 times 24. I'm going to get your attention one more time because this is really important. Trying to get my song back on. Come on, song. There we go.
Dance ain't no daily to party. Getting knocked down, you broken hearted. Crawling on the ground. Let's get it started.
Now, really important thing right here. 3 times 24 is 72. On a test, a lot of you will put 24 as the answer. That's like the unit rate because each of our 4s is worth 24. But we need to do 4 times 24 to finish our equivalent fraction. So now I need to do 4 times 24. Okay. When I do that, it's 24 times 4 because each of those 4s is worth 24. And when I do that, I get 16, regroup the 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 more is 96. So when I read this problem again, I'm saying Seraphine spent 75% of his V-Bucks, or 3/4 of his money, on Fortnite moves. He spent 72 on that. He's got to have more money than that because he didn't spend all his money. His total amount of money is 96. Now, something really cool that we can show you with our calculator is we can actually, where is my calculator? We can actually do, it's not doing it for me. Hi guys, I was trying to show you my computer, I'll just do it on my phone. If you do 72, which is the part, and you divide it by 96, you notice you get 0.75. So this is the same thing as 75% over here. Pretty cool that you can see that with the math. So our correct answer was $96. That's how much money Seraphine had in all. Right now, take your time, make sure you're labeling part, whole, and percent as you rock it out. And if you want, while you start your problems, I'll give you a little fun background music.
Laying on the map, it's time to go. All my people in the squad trying to find the foe. We was getting in the groove on the battle bus. Now look at these fools coming after us.